What's up, everybody? In the thief of the night, here comes the dev and the gamer. You just don't know when we're coming, but you know that we'll arrive sooner or later. Actually, this has been sooner because last week we had a show, and I know that it seems like we didn't because it so happened to disappear because of some stupid fingers hitting the wrong button. But in deleting the show, but we're back for this week, so it's all good. So definitely check it out, share it, because we just do it random. I mean, we said this last week that Sundays are most likely going to be is kind of like where we're going to be doing this. So what's going on, Don? What's happening?
Not much. I think we're going to have to give you like more of a tablet style phone so you don't start deleting our episodes again.
Yes.
Going forward, I do apologize, guys. This is kind of K-Mega scene, all behind the scenes. So if things get deleted, things get added, the audio sucks. Next thing you know, you never know what's going to happen on K-Mega. So, but we're committed to making the dev and the gamer a more common thing, and the game plan is if you don't see a BGST going, count on Dev and the gamer, and the BGST happens, we may show up, we may not. We'll see what's going on that Sunday. So
yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about it. So anyway, so yeah, how's it been going? What's been happening?
Not much. Just home life, right? I decided to do this home renovation, and got in over my head, and it's coming to a close finally. I think with the main living area, so start moving furniture back, all that good stuff. So
good, no doubt.
Start working on logos for Dev and the gamer. Start doing a lot of stuff. So
yeah, and the ideas, because I'm waiting for a tutorial for something that I'm trying to do. So once we get that going and everything, it'll be nice. So yeah, get ready for something cool. Well, I hope you guys think it's cool for GRG next week. You know what I'm saying? We got a little intro, you know what I'm saying, that we got, and we let some people hear it. I let some people hear it on the stream, and they liked it when we were streaming Halo and Sea of Thieves last night. And so we'll definitely have a special intro for Dev and the Gamer and for GRG Uncut. Well, you know what I'm saying? So, just trying to do big things. And again, we'll be trying to also get all these shows on iTunes and on Spotify, stuff like that. So everything's in the works. And then last but not least, the sports podcast. And then I'm done. There is no podcast ever. I'll be done with them. But I've promised to do this sports podcast. I've got a couple of people that there's a guy that I work with, and he's a stat machine. And then I got a couple other guys that's going to be coming on. And then, I've heard Bot say he want to come on. Tim Dog said he wanted to come on sometime or whatever. So, we'll just be getting just different people that like to talk about sports. I know Kid Smooth like to do it. Maybe try to see if King Dre's down to come on and visit sometime. So it'll be fun.
That is going to be so weird because I never really got into sports, but at one point in my adult life, I was a professional athlete. So it is kind of strange to hear all that stuff, but man, wish you the best of luck, man. There's definitely a following of people like that stuff. So
oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just do a little something different, get away from the monotony of talking about gaming and just talk about something else without yelling at one another. But hey, we talking about sports. Sports might even get more brutal. Who knows? So anyway,
yeah. If you want to talk about downhill World Cup, I'll help you out with that. That's pretty much all.
I will definitely call you.
For sure.
I'll definitely call you. But anyway, man, let's go ahead and get this show started. Man, let's start off right now talking about some Crackdown 3. We've been hearing a lot of things from all different types of people. There's been rumors that was stated that Crackdown 3 was going to get delayed again, or Crackdown 3 was even in the realm or the possibility of getting canceled because nobody's hearing anything about it. People are kind of skeptical. People are saying that, this game is not completed. It's not done. Then all of a sudden you see that there's some kind of classification out there in Brazil that's stating that Crackdown 3 is coming really, really soon. And it's been something that I've been kind of wondering if Microsoft has been holding this close to the chest, so they can just drop it on people and say, hey, you know, here it is, have at it, whatever. Do you think that they're going to bring it out before E3, during E3? What is your thoughts about all this?
Well, the timing, that's an interesting question. But I think this puts one more nail in the coffin for the people that have their doubts that the game's not coming out. The game has to be playable, very playable form factor to get any sort of rating system on it, and they have to play it all the way through to be able to start to finish, so they can see any sort of language, any sort of other mature content, that sort of thing. Usually, what you'll see from the publishers, they'll put a little bit extra effort to, if it has mature content, they'll just show them essentially to kind of help speed up the process. So it's in a very playable state for order to be like that. So it's basically the game minus the day one update, what it sounds like to me. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just a lot of people was having some doubts about Hellblade coming to the Xbox, and then of course you've seen it on a Brazilian ad or something of that nature, or something I guess that was kind of like in the same realm, this classification or whatever, that was stating that Crackdown, I mean that Hellblade was coming, and sure enough, it's here. And also, they did it for Crash Bandicoot, so it seems like there's some validity to this, and I'm excited. I've been waiting for this game. I was saying that there was the two games that I was mostly anticipating for this year was Crackdown 3 and Detroit, and I'm still in it, and I'm still in the camp of that because of the multiplayer with Crackdown is amazing to me. If everything holds up, I mean, we know that the power of the cloud is real. You know what I'm saying? You don't see any, and you know what? There was one thing I was just thinking about with Sea of Thieves, right? Like, regardless of what people say about the content, people have every right to say what they want to about the game, good or bad, but you never hear anybody saying that game glitches in the sense of like there's any crashes or any type of, you get booted out or anything. The game just keeps going. It's like nothing's wrong with it, and especially with the water and the waves, you would think that there would be some kind of issues or something like that. But the game runs pretty good. So I mean, it leaves me to believe that Crackdown 3 is going to kind of wow some people. What do you think?
Well, there's a couple different things that I noticed with Crackdown. So before we got this not announcement, but this leak from the Brazilian rating system, one of the things that was interesting, when a project's done, you see a lot of people kind of disappear from a studio. This happens with every studio. It happens with PlayStation studios, Xbox studios. It happens with a lot of things. It is mostly because you have hired contract work, and those people end up moving out to the next project, right? Because they're trying to find work, and they're pretty much just, artist on hire. Is kind of how all that works, and so they're not permanent stays at those studios. And you start seeing I've started seeing behind the scenes people's resumes pop up, worked on Crackdown 3. So that's another sign that they're kind of done, if you know what I mean, with the game and what's going on. One of the interesting things is there's definitely a segment of people that don't want Crackdown to be a good game. There's a genuine group of people that doesn't like what they've done with Crackdown, but the harsh reality, it's a huge visual improvement over the originals. It stays true to the art style, what's unique about that game. And then everyone I've talked to, and this is just people that played it at E3 last year, says it plays like Crackdown 1. And if anyone follows Crackdown 1 is the one you want the game to play like, because Crackdown 2 wasn't the best offering. Right. So to me, it's very interesting that that's what we're going to see. The only major concern I have, and this is just me knowing how the nuts and bolts of everything works here, is on the multiplayer side of things. Not that destructible environments is not possible. Totally is. Seeing the demo, I understand how all it works, right? But how does that look like when you see all across many people buying the same game? And tagging your server that hard out of the blue. I don't understand how that, and that's where I have a hard time wrapping my head around the accessible power within Azure. Obviously, they're ramping up for this. That could have been a big part of the delay too. It could have been like that part of the game was ready, but their network wasn't ready to handle plus all the other games that Xbox power. So that was a concern of mine. It still is until I actually play it on the large scale of everyone else playing it. You never know exactly how that stuff's going to play out. The next thing that concerns me is when you add that many physics to things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do this on the art side of things all the time. Everything has certain physics properties. Every single part of that structure, right? So that actually takes a lot of time. You actually have to build a building like not how you would do normally in a game, but more how you would do it engineering wise in real life, if that makes any sense.
Right.
And so my overall concern is how many multiplayer maps we're going to have, or is it not going to even matter just because the whole environment's destructible? I have questions about that as well. I'm looking forward to it.
I didn't think about the maps. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That makes a lot
because
of sense.
that takes a lot of damn work. People don't understand like every single object you have, it has to have some sort of physics parameters, hard body, soft body, what's the collision detection on it, all this sort of stuff. And there's different ways to apply physics to geometry and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand how all that works, and then I'm just like, whew, I just don't know how many maps they're going to have, or they're just going to create all these buildings that have kind of preset physics parameters and then rearrange different buildings to make all the different multiplayer maps. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, so I'm extremely curious about it. I don't think the maps are going to be that huge. They can't be because I think it's 5 versus 5 is what I hear, or 6 versus 6.
Yeah, 5 versus 6 like that. Yeah,
which is enough to cause a lot of chaos. But we're possibly on the verge of a different type of multiplayer that we've never experienced in games. And just like when we experienced that with other multiplayer things, we're seeing a lot with Battle Royale right now. We've seen it with Halo being the granddaddy of introducing that to console gaming.
Mm-hmm.
If they introduce something completely new and it can really only be done on their network, that's kind of a game changer. So I'm excited what that not only means for this game, but I'm excited what it means for games going forward.
Right. That's exactly where I'm at with this. That's why I'm so excited for it, because look, it could be a complete disaster once it come out, and it will fail miserably, because I think what most people are interested in this game is not so much for the single player, but it's for the multiplayer. So if the multiplayer doesn't live up to the hype to any degree, and look, we already know, even if it was successful, the multiplayer aspect of it, there's still going to be naysayers that's going to say that it was still trash or something like that. But we're talking about in reality terms of, if this thing is not capable of running, or if it crashes, or it just doesn't live up to the hype, then it would be a huge waste of time and money. So I think that's why you have to delay, like you were saying about the servers getting hit the way that they are. Now, of course, with DirectX 12, which I believe that this game will have installed into it, that it's supposed to alleviate something on the servers, or something to push with the, I don't know anything too much about all that tech stuff, but
there was a tech demo that went around.
Right.
Well, I don't know about this last GDC, but the GDC before that. So that's what made me a believer in the technology even more so, when everyone kind of was being naysayers, this game's not going to come out. And I'm like, I really hope that's not the case, because not only that Microsoft is pulling the wool over their customers, they'll be pulling the wool over their other customer, which is the development community, on board of that. So a lot of developers are looking at this, and I think Microsoft looks at this game is, if it's successful, it's more important to them than even their Xbox console or their whole play anywhere agenda. This actually puts them one more foot in the door of um, having their network being part of other platforms.
Right.
If that makes any sense. So,
no, that makes perfect sense.
So, hey, if you want the scalability, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go with Azure.
Right.
Like, no one else is doing this. And we know the tech works, right? Epic didn't buy them out of nowhere for no reason at all.
Right. I was going to ask you about Epic because didn't Epic isn't it rumored that Epic was working on the game or some?
No, they never were working on Crackdown
okay.
like that. So CloudGen which is one of the people that was working on this game to some degree. They kind of provided the tech, like middleware type tech, to make it work with a server network as such. So it's going to be interesting as far as all that stuff goes. I'm excited to play single player. Like I was just messing around, just seeing the X enhancements on the first Crackdown just before we got on, and that original game sinks your teeth into it so quick. Like I meant to just run around. I played through the game before, right? And I remember just all of a sudden I just went through 2 or 3 bosses. I'm like, oh, I was just going to turn this off real quick. That's how engaging that game is. So if they're able to get this next one on single player, I'll be just as happy with single player. So.
Right. Yeah. No. I'll be. And like I said, to me, it's about the multiplayer. I mean, I'm a huge Battlefield fan, and the one reason why I've always liked Battlefield over COD, once I started playing Battlefield, was because of the destruction. I love that realism of where you can be in a building if somebody is camping. You could just grab a grenade launcher, get in a tank, whatever, and light their ass up and just drop the building on top of them. I love that. So to take the destruction factor to a whole nother level, and where you can see buildings and things like that fall down, that would be just insane. And so you're right, the maps probably won't be really big, and there might not be that many maps, but the things that you can do. I mean, just think about PUBG. PUBG only has what, 2-3 maps? I think just 2 maps right now. Was it 1 right now on the Xbox? I know. I think overall they got 3.
It's 1 right now. There's 2 on the TV, and then I think there's a 3rd one coming.
There's a 3rd one coming. Right.
Yeah, it's like underwater. It's like an under cave network or something weird. I don't really know what's going on that. It's like South America or something like that you drop into. From what I've seen, I haven't been following along real quickly, so it could have been a total hoax picture that I saw. So I don't really know. To be honest with you.
But that's the thing, like you were saying, like how PUBG and how Battle Royale is kind of taking everything by storm, especially with what Fortnite is doing. This can actually do the same thing with what you were saying with multiplayer games, because this would change everything, because once people get in here and they jump into it and they actually can do what is advertised, some people will not go back to other multiplayer games. I mean, you'll look at things like COD and you might still like COD, but I think that's one reason why COD is making the change that they're doing, and we'll talk about that later on. But it's like, to me, I think that there's a huge tide coming where a lot of change is coming. This generation didn't have a lot of change. It did a lot of progression on a lot of older games, or on some new type of games that we get to see. But I think next generation is going to be where we actually start seeing what we've been expecting this generation. What do you think about that?
I don't know about that. I mean, I think it's going to be a slow progression on all this stuff, right? As games get more and more expensive, it's harder for people to want to take risk. Big publishing companies, and that's just the nature of the beast, right? Say you're a millionaire, you want to invest millions and millions into more of a sure thing. They're going to get a return on your investment and then some, or do you want to invest in something that's a super high risk? And so, people always have to keep like that sort of stuff in mind. And studios, longer studios are being held together, and that pedigree is there. The longer that they have more clout to get people to take risk on them, that sort of thing. I mean, there are certain risks. I mean, with the latest God of War, there's even certain risks that Sony wasn't on board with. We're finding out later, not in a bad way or anything like that. You know, discrediting the game, but it does show that publishers want more for sure things, and some of the things that publishers want is to reduce cost and reduce risk, and so you're always have that fight against the creative talents of individuals at studios. So that's just always going to be there. So I would just wouldn't set your expectations that high. In regards that we're just going to get a plethora of different things. We're going to see slightly higher frame rates on some games, right? Like I've said this before, I expect roughly around a 10% increase in the games that we see that normally we see in 30, we'll see possibly in 60. Going forward, you'll see more techniques like frame rate interpolation being used in different creative ways. Also with FreeSync, you'll see it in different things. You'll see games locked at different frame rates that are not 30, they're not 60, maybe something in between. For the people that have those type of displays, you're going to see different forms of ray tracing to different degrees and different scaling as well. And that's just going to have lighting affect scenes in different ways, or shadows in different ways, and it's going to be blended in with traditional rendering that we have now. So there's a lot more tools they can play around with, but a lot of ways we're already kind of seeing what we're going to see already. We're going to see it at a higher scale going forward. So
okay, there was somebody in the chat, Peter Young. He said, why didn't Microsoft buy CloudGen? Now I thought they did buy a cloud.
They've been buying some sort of company, and I haven't been following that super closely. I don't know why they didn't buy CloudGen in regards to that. I don't know why Epic was able to buy them out, and I don't know what Epic's plans are. Obviously, they're going to integrate it into Unreal, but that's just that's that, and which I'm excited for because that's what I use my game on. But I haven't seen anything on. All the stuff I'm privileged to on Unreal that we're going to see anything on CloudGen with the integration to Unreal Engine anytime soon. So at least for now, they're not talking about it to the development community. So
yeah, well, and also he states more. It would have guaranteed Azure. Let me be country. It's late at night. Would be used instead of opening up the possibility of AWS. And Google Engine being used as cloud providers.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. That's possible. I mean, that's competition, right? I think it's also how your network's set up as well. So I think was working with them is fundamentally key. They've been working with them almost since a year after that we know of publicly after this generation started. So Microsoft's got a huge head start on those companies and building their infrastructure to be able to take advantage of it. So
yeah, well, I mean, look, Microsoft has bought some cloud computing companies. I can't remember the companies off of my brain right now, but I just know that they did.
Well, you also got Havoc too, so you got to keep that in mind. Like, there's really only two physics middleware. There's what NVIDIA offers correctly that only works on NVIDIA cards, and then you have Havoc, which used to be owned by Intel, believe it or not.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, that's where Microsoft bought it from. They bought it from Intel. So it's interesting. And if you look at Azure Network, it does use a lot of NVIDIA's technology on the graphic card side of things. Well, I know people that like engineer stuff and stuff like that, and they use Azure for that, and it's all on the NVIDIA side of things on their server farm. So,
well, Microsoft is going all out with Azure because it is their #1 cash cow right now. It is far beyond the bigger than anything that they have at their company with all the little small entities that they have. And so you would think that they would want to push it everywhere. So why not in gaming? And of course, when you play Halo 5 and when you play other games and then they're using this tech, of course, it just makes sense that they would want to push this, and then of course, like I think where everybody's getting the idea where they're trying, where people think that they're going to take their games and put them on a PlayStation or a Nintendo, something of that nature. I think it's more of what you said earlier, is where they want their that they want like their service or their multiplayer or things of that nature to go over to and be used on other platforms. That way that they still get more, they get revenue from, you know, from all over, you know what I'm saying? Basically just kind of taking everything over within, and people keep thinking it's about just the games. I don't think I think it's just their tech that they want to sell, not their games so much.
I think their games are a big part of it too. I think people, when you start talking about that stuff, people get all doom and gloom. It's like,
right,
well, they care more about PC than they care about Xbox. Well, they care about both. They really do. And you can make the same argument. People that say they want to just do streaming, they don't want to do physical boxes. It's like, look, there's money to be made in all those different departments, as long as it's sustainable, and they're still profitable in those areas. They're going to continue to invest in those areas, and that's just kind of the harsh reality in regards to that. I mean, people say they don't like hardware, but obviously they release new controllers every 2 to 3 months, right? So that's hardware. You know, they want people's home PCs to, you know, do upgrades because they obviously make money off of that. They want other people to use their technology. You know, Microsoft's always been in the game business before they even had physical hardware, with the tool sets that how games were made as early as the 64, you know, PlayStation 1 era, and obviously prior to that as well. So they've been in the game for quite a while.
Okay. All right, cool. So what is your overall expectation with Crackdown 3? Do you think that we should be excited about it? Should we be reserved? Where are you at with Crackdown 3?
I think it's going to be like anything else on a I think Xbox title. There's going to be a certain segment of gamers that just want games to fail, or they have an expectation that's not necessarily what Microsoft sold them on, but that's what they're building up because maybe say their competition's building something else different. I expect this game to be like Crackdown. If it doesn't play like Crackdown, then I'm going to be disappointed. I want its heart and its DNA to be what made the original Crackdown 1 so good. And if they hit that and obviously have continuous refinements, I'm going to be so happy. I'll be just as happy playing co-op with my friends on that game is the new multiplayer destruction. And that's all I really honestly care about. You know, as far as what other people have to say or anything like negative, you know, I'm just not going to care. I'm just going to play the game. So.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get on to our next topic. And that is Darrell Gallagher. Just got picked up from I don't know why I can't think of the company off the top of my head, but of course the people that made Tomb Raider.
Crystal Dynamics.
Yes, Crystal Dynamics. Thank you. I want to say Eidos because that was the back in the days.
They're owned by Square, right?
Right,
so,
right.
Square Enix, Square's the publishing partner, I should say.
Right. So anyway, yeah. So Crystal Dynamics, but anyway, so he's now with Xbox. It had a little bit of buzz, and then all of a sudden the buzz went away. But it gives this indication to some fans that since this guy's here and he was the one that started this reboot with help with the start of the new Tomb Raider reboot, that Xbox is going to be probably more focused on with at some point, not everything, but to be more focused on bringing in single player experiences that may be on the same caliber or the same high level as Tomb Raider is. Or do you think that is the case, or do you just think that it's just another guy that just Microsoft just brought in?
Okay, well, so before I talk this, I have to be very clear.
Right.
I don't know Matt Booty. I don't know this guy because everyone assumes I know certain people when we start talking about it and jump to those conclusions. I don't know these guys, and I don't know what they have planned. So everything I'm saying is a pure guess on my part. But my conclusion that I'm jumping to is that they already bought a studio. They already
Really?
bought a franchise.
Okay.
And this guy is taking it over. So what that is, I don't know. That's one possibility. The other possibility, I can see this guy being the guy that reboots Perfect Dark, and maybe they bought a studio, but they want this guy's gonna be running it up, and they've already been working on it. But maybe we'll see that the following year, and he has to put like the final director's touch on it, essentially. I don't really know. I don't know how long he's really been working with Microsoft behind the scenes, or he was working at the studio and we never knew it. And now they're publicly saying, "Hey, now you're part of this part of the leadership team." So he's got the pedigree.
Yes, he does.
That basically reboot a franchise that was having a hard time getting its feet in the door again is huge. Activision didn't hire somebody because they're bored. They try to hire some of the top tier talents out of the industry. So, I mean, I'm curious what this guy's role is going to be. I'm excited for what his role is going to be. I think it's a good sign that we have Matt Booty. He's not stopping, right? Like he's getting straight to work. As far as all that stuff is concerned. So, but the impression I keep getting is, they've been opening up their checkbook. You've been hearing this behind the scenes with other developers and stuff like that. There's things I've heard and stuff like that I haven't seen go public. So, I'll just chalk that up as water cooler talk, right?
Right.
I don't want to start false rumors myself.
Right.
But my guess is they possibly bought a studio, and he's now heading that up, and helping that studio whatever they're going to be doing. They could have bought a studio to work on a previous existing franchising from Microsoft, and he's heading up that whole kind of reboot or whatever that is, because that's what he's good at. He's proven that, or he possibly is, they've started from scratch, whatever it may be. And that is what he's doing. But I'm curious, and we're going to see at this E3 whatever they've been doing.
Yeah, well, no, I was just thinking, I was impressed with the Matt Booty hire because of the fact, not only because of Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is an animal in itself. It's a beast, but the stuff that the people that he's been associated with and the things that he's done beforehand. Now he was, late when he was in the Midway days, but he was also with a lot of other great talent. With Boys, I can't think of his first name. The guy that used to work for.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the people that have worked with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
THQ. One time.
Yeah.
But he was kind of hired too late to keep that ship from sinking. As far as I was concerned. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't know what to think of Matt, to be honest with you. Because I didn't really know much about his.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, I didn't know much of his pedigree or anything like that, but I like what I see so far. He's not being idle. He's obviously working on something, and I'm starting to get the impression what everyone says about him. He's not about the glory. He's not about any of that stuff, right? He's about getting the work done and giving people credit for what they've done, which is another problem in the industry. I think a lot of times some people do it's the wrong reasons, right? Some people do it for the fame, right, or the recognition.
Oh yeah, Cliffy B.
Right? Yeah. He thrives on that, right? So
right.
Cliffy B. He lives and dies by that, but but he's not about that. He's about his business, and that's the type of person that I have a lot of respect for, and those are the type of people that people want to work for. So I'm excited. It's just one more thing confirmed. We're going to get something at E3, whatever it is. It could be just the announcement of a tease. I just hope they don't do like a Black Tusk sort of thing where they kind of showed a game and then they all of a sudden Black Tusk turns into something else, and then you don't see that game that was teased. So that's what I don't want in regards to that. But you're starting to see some shakeups. You just got to know where to look, guys.
Right, and just like on his Twitter account when he first came in, he just said they decided to be a part of the team. Good things to come. E3 2018. I really do think this E3 is going to be. It's got to be telling because there's so many people that are saying that they're on the fence, that they don't feel that Xbox is doing the things that they're supposed to do. But just with me, I don't really care about that. To me, it's more about let's see now what Phil Spencer and them are actually doing here in the future, just for us to be excited for what's to come. And then you can go back to the strategy of what you wanted, not wanting to show games too far. I think we have to see Phil's vision. We have to see what the rest of the staff's vision is in regards of what Xbox is trying to do. I don't think anything is wrong with that because as a fan, we want to know.
I think this E3 has been 2 or 3 years in the planning.
Right. Okay.
Like that's the impression I keep getting. So like when people are always kind of like doom and gloom, hey, you're entitled to that opinion. Like would ever want to take that away from anybody, right? Because the reason why I look at it that way is they haven't been shown anything. So and Microsoft's track records has some blemishes. So everyone's entitled to that view and entitled to that opinion. But the way I've looked at it is like what they were trying to do is that every time they had something out there, they kept giving ammunition to the people that are not fans of their product, right?
Right.
So they always wanted to demean that. So by going radio silent, and there's always arguments within the community, but the going radio silent, they basically stop. They're starving them, right? They're starving their own fan base too, which is the con to all of it, right? But they're also starving their anti-fan base. And what they wanted to do, I think the plan was to get a good idea what's going to stick, what's going to be a final product, right? So they can cancel things behind the scenes. They can continue to double down on other things that are really good, right? And they don't see the repercussions of those cancelizations.
Right.
And I think what we're seeing at E3, because it's been 2 or 3 years since we've seen like a major announcement from them, so they're due, right? This would be the E3 they would be due. Now, if they don't provide something, I can understand the fan base being upset, right?
Right.
And they do have a lot to prove because, well, they're running it, out of that short list of things they've announced, right? Crackdown being the last one of them. So I'm excited for what we're going to see E3. I've also heard a couple things I keep hearing about PlayStation behind the scenes too. That got me excited. I don't know if those things are true or not either. But I have a feeling we're going to see more surprises from E3 from Sony this year than they did last year, and I also think we're going to see, it could be.
Well, they have to. That
last year's wasn't great, right?
It was not great at all. It was too much of the same. So
that's what I want
from. To do the same.
To be honest, that's what I really want from. I don't want them to spread themselves thin between the other events they do. I want them to show proper respect to E3 and the importance of that, and come with their A game. Don't just coast in there, like they did last year. So, but that's what I'm hearing is that there's a little bit concern of competition, and there's going to be a little bit of a reactionary to that. So that's what I'm hearing. I don't know if it's third party deals. I don't know if it's exclusives. I don't know what it is. In regards, I've heard some rumors, and but it's all good sign. And when we start hearing rumors from different sources, does that make sense? That are not part of the Twitter first, they're not part of the social media platform that both me and K-Mega are involved. That's when it starts adding validity to what I'm hearing. So, K-Mega still there? Yo, K-Mega. Hey guys in the chat, can you guys hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear him now. Oh
yeah,
man,
hey man,
this all the time.
Man, this stupid mic, man.
And
It
can
does
I
this
not
crazy.
go on a rant? Is that the problem?
Well, I no. It is stupid. Mike does this crazy thing every once in a while. I was over here talking because I was just saying how excited. I mean, because we're gamers first, man. Regardless of whatever our preference is, it is look to see that Sony is coming in because in bringing in the heat. That's going to be even more exciting because they have to watch out for, regardless of what fanboys that's toxic say, Xbox. If Xbox come and have a fantastic showing, that they have, say PlayStation has to roll. And then you got a Nintendo too. Nintendo is not going to lay down either. Nintendo has been doing fantastic with the Switch, regardless of what do you think about the power. So, and then you got to think about the third party too, because these third party companies are in competition with other third party companies. And now when you see quality games, because I hear so many great things. Now I've heard that God of War is not a 10, but God of War is one of the best games this gen. And when you got exclusives that hit hard like that, then the third party has to step their game up too, because that's why I'm saying I'm so excited for next generation to come, for the fact that it's so many everything seems to be coming together as long as Xbox do what they're supposed to do, and you know what I'm saying, and follow suit and show the gaming fan that, hey, look, we're ready to bring it. It's just that good quality games takes time. That's the same thing that I've been saying. So hopefully that's what we get ready to see at E3.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's not like Microsoft's not aware. Like, one of the things that you see a lot of people. It's always been, obviously since the beginning of this generation, it's been popular to, Microsoft. At least there's a loud group of people that are out there, right?
Right.
In whatever haters are gonna hate, and you kind of just have to let them just kind of do their thing, and honestly, just don't give them as much weight as that they're looking for. Right, that's the only thing you can do to really kind of counteract that. But I don't know how to say this, but I'm one of the few that truly believes that they're bringing their A game this E3.
No, I believe it.
And I'm also going to say this: they're going to bring a mixture of stuff. Like, the Xbox platform is not a one-dimensional type of game. The Xbox platform is a diverse platform, right, for different things. Now, there's going to be things at this E3 that I'm not going to care about either, but I'm not going to complain or be upset, right? Like, those are going to be their own self-sustaining things that they're not going to bother me. For example, I'm not a big believer in VR for the home. I'm a strong believer that that's not a good thing. And I 100% believe Microsoft's going to bring VR or AR type devices to this.
Oh yeah, I do think that they will.
Yeah, so that's going to be a perfect example of something that I'm not going to be interested in. Now, I think VR has some things that can be done for. I definitely think that it has a place when it comes to other type of things. I actually worked on a VR project myself, and it was, what they do is a giant warehouse essentially, and put a whole bunch of false walls, and then you overlay essentially the 3D environment over the physical environment, right? So when you walk around in the space, you can actually physically touch walls, or you walk out to the balcony, you can feel the wind hit you because they actually have fans blowing on you and stuff like that,
that's
right?
Crazy.
So
that's wild.
So that type of thing where you no longer have the limitations of your living room. VR becomes something awesome, but it becomes something like, more or less like I would call it like a roller coaster, right? Roller coasters are fun, but they're not something you would put in your backyard. And whatever one you put in the backyard would be so disappointing compared to an actual roller coaster, at a park. And so that's kind of how I look at VR. But they're definitely going to bring VR there. There's definitely a push within the industry of that. There's people still asking for that sort of stuff. It will never be the new norm. It's just going to be another platform, just like, and that falls within Microsoft, right?
Right.
There's major platforms, and then there's all the side things that bring additional revenue. There's going to be youth games that I'm not interested in. I never talk down about Super Lucky Tale, but it's nothing I ever put on a pedestal as something I was excited about. Right? We're going to see games like that. I mean, some part of me believes that we're going to see Banjo again, and that's what those people are going to be interested in. But I also believe that there is a segment of gamers, and this is the gamers that are really upset right now, which is the more mature, graphically intense titles that kind of give you that wow factor.
Mm-hmm.
Those Michael Bay moments in gaming. This is the way I like to call it. And I have a feeling they're bringing that stuff too. I just don't think they get enough credit when they release a Gears or a Halo, because their single player campaigns count too.
Right.
We were just playing, what is it, Halo 5 the other day?
Yeah.
I mean, we had to finish the last, what is it? Was legendary difficulty, the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, the hardest difficulty. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and K Mega, I think we're both at the same level. We had to get done, and we've been meaning to do it, but it's just been put on the back burner. And so we finally do the hardest difficulty. I'm like, damn. I mean, everyone complains about this, the story of Halo 5, but to be honest with you, this is my second favorite story in Halo.
I enjoy it.
Out of all of them.
Yeah, I don't. I think if people go back and play it again and just start from start to finish, I think they'll appreciate it more. Especially like after playing Halo Wars 2, it gave me more appreciation of Halo 5, and I think when Halo 6 come out, it will definitely even give more credibility to Halo 5, because it's what I've said is, like, if you're a fan of the Fast and the Furious, right? You're gonna love 1 through 4, I think, or 1 through, well, I forget Tokyo Drift. I don't even think Tokyo Drift got a number,
but Tokyo Drift is the odd one, right?
Yeah, Tokyo Drift is the odd one, and that's to me like Halo 5. But Tokyo Drift doesn't make sense until you watch the rest of the Fast and the Furious, and then you're like, wow, this is very important, because you were kind of like, why the hell are they talking about something in Japan? But it really made sense once you get to the story, and that's where Halo 5 is kind of like setting the tone for everything else that's about to happen in the Halo saga. So, I don't know. I don't know. But let me read some comments to a couple of people asking. Peter Young asked this. I just seen this. Sorry, Peter. Do you think that Darrell is going to be in charge of Game Pass? His CV is too good that he could have Matt Booty's job. Which, okay, yeah, I guess. But that's just a straight up no.
No.
I don't see that either.
He's running up a studio, or he's in charge of a couple studios.
Okay, and then Halo's.
That's my take on it. He's in charge of intellectual properties, is the way I look at what his new job is.
Okay, and then Halo Storm. What's up, Halo Storm? He asked, what studio do you guys think this guy from Crystal, Darrell Gallagher from Crystal Dynamics is in charge of? I'm thinking it's something like a new Lionhead. So are you thinking it's something like a new Lionhead, or if it's I think it's going to be something in a sense of, it's, he's going for, I guess he's a guy that's known for a single player experience game. So I could see maybe not for a Lionhead, but something more of maybe like a Santa Monica, or anything else that has to do with single player centric games. Like, I think that's what his studio will probably be focused on.
And it's not to say he's not capable of other things, right?
Right.
But he strangely fits the bill of what people are asking for from Microsoft, right?
Right.
And personally, what I want those type of games as well too. So just as, even though I'm happy with what Sea of Thieves is, it doesn't fill the void of what you want, as far as the mature, story-driven narrative games, right? It doesn't fill that void, but I like what it provides for me on the platform. Same thing with Crackdown. Crackdown doesn't fill that void either, right? Crackdown is its own beast. Right. So that's the way I look at all this stuff. And he specializes in that, and I think could be a lot could be done there. Who knows? Who knows if this has any tie? I don't know what his involvement was over at Activision, in what he overseed, or with any of the studios or anything like that. But there might be a possibility to that whole Activision rumor of Call of Duty not having a campaign tied to them losing this guy.
You know what?
And they may have lost him a while ago. These are all speculations. I don't know the guy, right? So, like, I'm not trying to solve false rumors or anything like that, but these are the type of dots I'm seeing that are out there that possibly connect in regards to that. So it's a wait and see, even with Activision. It's a wait and see what they actually have, because people keep saying the rumor is it's not a traditional campaign, and people take that as no campaign. So there's two different things people are saying out there. So
okay, all right. Well, why don't we just jump into that right there? Good segue. So anyway, the segue. So we can go ahead and get into the last topic, man. We talk about Battle Royale. I mean, because it seems like everything coming out from what PUBG and what Fortnite is doing, it's got the attention from every other game that is multiplayer centric. They want a piece of this pie. They want it. And even hearing speculations of well, I should say speculations, but rumors about Red Dead even having some kind of battle royale thing going on with it. Halo, the new Halo 6 will probably have, or another Halo game that's going to be coming out could have this battle royale. Battlefield having battle royale. Call of Duty, this is one of the biggest rumors, which I think this is probably the most valid out of all the rumors that's going on, that they're definitely going to be doing battle royale. So everything is wanting to get in this because it's the new hot flavor. So is this going to start taking away single player campaigns from these multiplayer games? Because it could definitely generate a lot more money than them spending so much money on these single player campaigns. What do you think, Don?
Well, I mean, it's all possible. I mean, you have to do the footwork of getting the system up and running from there. Because it's trying to get 100 players on the map. That's what makes it so special, right? Not a lot of people have been able to accomplish something like that.
Right.
And they came up a game mode where it's chaos, but it's organized chaos. That's what PUBG is really kind of provided for people. And they're also now seeing with Fortnite does it better, regardless of you like the game or not. Like, it just runs better across the board. But I think there's the trying to stay relevant, but I think there's also a certain segment that fear it. They fear if you don't have a battle royale, you're going to be irrelevant. Almost like the same sort of fear if you didn't have multiplayer where you're team deathmatch, you're considered irrelevant. And so there is a legitimate concern I'm starting to hear in the industry, just rumblings in regards to that. There's a certain segment of people that love multiplayer and then this is just kind of the new mindset out there, is just because I like one thing, then the other thing is horrible or not worth my time
or relevant.
There's a lot of that mentality going on, right? There's either hot or you're cold, and the reality is you can have all that stuff, but some people are a champion that they don't care. So I'm going to wait and see what Activision's doing, because I think the interesting thing was what they said is not your traditional campaign, is what I keep hearing from all the rumors. The hubbub is everyone takes it as there's not going to be a campaign, and I don't think that's true to a certain degree until I see it. In regards to, it could be anything. It could be your campaign, and I'm just spitballing, right? But your campaign is no longer your traditional AI characters. It's just people playing multiplayer that hop into your campaign and play the enemy players. So now you don't have dumbed down AI anymore, right? You have some actual intelligent people that are shooting back at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Which would be a hard thing to balance on a game like that. So there could be some people that don't like that aspect of it. There could be anything from, it's been a butt of a joke, but for some people that don't play Xbox, but you look at the first Forza Motorsport, not the latest one, because I think the drive guitars are not as smart as they were on the first one on Xbox One. But if you look at that driver guitar system on first Motorsport on Xbox One, all of a sudden that racing game played like no other racing game, right? And basically, it was just pulling information from other people that are playing that game and creating AI routines for you to race against. And so, imagine if Call of Duty did something like that with all their multiplayer that they had and generated very unique AI routines for all the people you play through in the campaign. So there's all these different possibilities of what that thing means. So, and it's all rumors and speculation. So we're going to see where it goes from here. I mean, and maybe they have an approach where they realize the single player is not doing well for them, so they want to do something that will make it more relevant than it has been. And I bet you K-Mega's mic's timed out, so I'm gonna have to warn him. Say something, K-Mega.
Hold on.
And there you are.
You hear me?
I hear you now. I knew your mic was gonna do that.
Man, I don't know what. Oh man, God, man. I guess my mic is tired. I don't know, man. Anyway, so yeah, somebody asked Prehu X. He said multiplayer games. Excuse me. He said multiplayer games used to have bots as standard. Only thing I hate about current multiplayer games is less LAN options and server dependent. So, look, to me, it's like this. I mean, I always enjoy the single player aspect of these games. Like, okay, like let's just say, for instance, Battlefield. Not Battlefield. Battlefront 2. I really enjoyed that story. That story was amazing, and the multiplayer is cool. I like it, but it's not something that I would want to play every day. But every time that I do jump in and I play it, it's a beautiful game. It's fun, but it's just not. It doesn't gravitate me like other, like maybe a Halo 5 or other any multiplayer games that I might jump on and play. It's just, to me, it's like, yeah, I know that there's people that jump on just multiplayer only, and with COD, you do also have the zombies mode, and I know that there's people that just play nothing but the zombies mode. But taking away a tradition that you've always had with your previous games, it kind of, to me, would put them in a bad situation. That's why when I brought up in Next that I think if everything is true, if they just start off with a multiplayer only, I could see Activision actually going after, well, not going after, but making a single player DLC to charge people for it, or to include it into the season pass, to entice more people to go ahead and if you want that single player experience, you got the option. You can go ahead and you can get it individually, or they could have like two different type of special deals to where, well, if you don't want the season pass, you can just buy the single player mode.
Like each one's $30, but if you want to buy both,
well, they're usually 15.
Like,
yeah, they're like 15
you know what I mean?
bucks. Yeah, but yeah, like for the single player, they could do it for 15 bucks, or they can maybe do 20 because it will be more. But yeah, I can see Activision doing this, and again, it's going to be up to the gamer to decide if this is the right way to go. To me, I think it's fraudulent, because I didn't like what Call of Duty did a couple of years with bringing in the original Modern Warfare and charging people all over again for the remaster, and then you had to pay for the maps, even though if you was a big fan of the original Modern Warfare, you already had those games, you already had that locked into your library. That's why when, I know this is kind of going left a little bit, but that's why I say backwards compatibility is so important, because if you have these games already, why do you have to pay more for them? I'd rather have a game that's upscaled, looks better, than to pay X amount of money for a remaster. And so if Call of Duty does this, to me, I think this will be the beginning of the end for them, in my opinion. Not saying per se of overall, because I think COD will always still make money, but I'm saying for the general base, I think that they would look at that and they would just say, no, I'm not with it. What do you think?
I don't know what they're thinking, but I mean, Activision's brave.
They are. They are.
But here's the thing: is like it seems like Call of Duty can be knocked off their pedestal, right? But I think the majority of Activision's outside of I think Candy Crush actually makes more than Call of Duty now, but um, without Call of Duty, being successful, that really puts a serious dent in their finances, right? They're not very diverse as a company. I think the only maybe that was correct. I think Candy Crush may actually make more than Call of Duty. As embarrassing that is.
Right.
So they may be looking at things they may have to vote. I don't know. Me personally, and I've always picked up a Call of Duty once. Or depends on how Call of Duty has always been a default buy for me. And what I mean by that as a consumer is if they don't make a game, if there's not enough good holiday games that year, and I just need to fill up my catalog of what I'm going to be playing that holiday season, I'll pick up a Call of Duty for the campaign. I really do. That's the only reason why I do pick up one of their games.
Right.
And that is something very, very crucial for me. So if they take that out entirely, I have zero interest in Call of Duty. And it's not me being upset or not me being reactionary or like the typical behaviors you see out in the gaming community. That's just literally just not excited for it if it doesn't have a campaign.
Yeah, no, and that's to me. It's the same thing. Look, like, this latest Call of Duty World War II, right? The beta.
Oh no, you cut out.
I'm back.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I know what to do, but it just boy, this is frustrating. Anyway, so Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty World War II was I could stand the beta, right? So what happened was that I was hearing some really good things about the story. So I went ahead and I got it and I played the story. I always play the story first so I could get a feel of how the game is going to play on the multiplayer. And the story was amazing. There was such a good story. And graphically, it was beautiful, especially on the X, you know what I'm saying, the HDR, all that, right? But the game drew me in. It brought me back to like almost to I don't know if people really enjoyed Advanced Warfare. I loved Advanced Warfare story. And I even liked Ghost's story. I was annoyed by the villain because the bastard wouldn't die, but I did like that as well. But it drew me in, and I was like, oh wow! And so it made me jump onto the multiplayer. If you got COD just multiplayer only, I'm going to skip it. I'm going to avoid it because I want to get the feel of what makes me like COD the most, and that's the single player. Now I know you're going to be playing more of the multiplayer, but you can't try to entice people to just to take away from something that's already there. That's to me is where gamers will draw the line. Some gamers. Now other gamers that just like nothing but multiplayer, they're gonna just love it and they're gonna sink their teeth into it. But I don't know, man. I just don't see them actually cutting it out without trying to charge people for extra money. And I know with Fortnite, they're making a lot of money off of cosmetics and things of that nature, off of the microtransactions. So that's what's opening everything up. They want that extra dollar, and I think that being too greedy is going to hurt them in the long run. I don't know.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things. We'll have to wait and see with Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
Call of Duty is that game that sucks up so much money in the industry. It gets people in the habit of not taking risks with other games. So, we'll see where it goes. I wish everyone that works on a Call of Duty for that game to find its foothold. I don't wish it poorly or anything like that. And hopefully, whatever changes they do is a positive one for the core. I mean, that's all we can do. And at the end of the day, people can complain or be upset. It comes down to a couple different things with gaming now these days. It comes to where you spend your money,
right?
But it's just as important as how much you engage in the game. If you spend the money and didn't engage in the game, you're sending a mixed message to the studio. And yes, they do care about the money more than your engagement. But continuous engagement is what these multiplayer games thrive on. And so if they don't have that, that's a problem. If you continue to buy the game and never play the campaign, maybe that's the reason why they're making these decisions. So,
True.
you know, it's the only, and there's this big segment of people that say that no one plays the single player games. Well,
That's
the only person who really knows that is Activision, right? They're the only ones who really have those hard numbers. We don't have access to those numbers in the public, and we can just assume.
Well, that's why I brought up on next podcast was that's why I think that it made sense in the long run for them to hold on to the story because of the fact that their DLCs after their second DLC, it COD just dies. Pretty much it just goes to obscurity. So I mean, it doesn't get the pub. It doesn't. People just aren't really that much more interested in COD after that second DLC. So in order for you to also enhance people to be interested in DLC, and you add that story later on, like about the same time when the second DLC comes, or maybe when the third DLC comes, then that might entice people to say, "Oh, well, I get the story now. I've already been playing. I've already maxed out," or they stop playing COD, and then they're like, "Oh, here's the story." Well, you know what? I might want to go ahead and play this story now. So I think whatever the strategy that they have, they've been making money. They what I'm saying, every COD has sold like hotcakes. Even their worst one, I think it sold what 12, 13 million copies. So, and that's nothing to sneeze at. So, and the competition is being stiff around them because of them being the same way. So they have to change. I mean, you got PUBG, you got Fortnite now. That's the new hotness. You got Battlefield that's breathing down their neck. Battlefield 1 sold amazing. It sold over 24 million copies, I believe. And so, yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at. Plus the fact that you also have other competition with, you got Rockstar doing their thing. You got Overwatch. There's so many other shooters out there. I mean, whenever Halo drops, or, the rumors of the Master Chief Collection getting rehashed and getting fixed, that's going to generate a lot of buzz, and that's going to take away more time away from COD. So they have to do something, in my opinion. So so I really think that I think it's a great discussion. And look, I don't know what the future is going to lie, because I don't have a crystal ball, but I do think that what this whole battle royale thing has done is probably putting a lot of emphasis on what gamers actually really want. And it's like you said, I mean, gamers speak with their wallet. So if you don't like this new strategy that they're doing, then speak with your wallet. Don't buy that shit.
It comes more than just your wallet. It also comes down to not playing it or playing it, right?
Right.
So if you play something that has a campaign, like that's why people say, "Hey, buy Hellblade." Well, that's cool. If you are interested in that game, buy it. If you are interested, and this is the type of game it is. But if you buy it, play it too.
Right.
And if you're being enjoyed, definitely make the time to play, because that sends just as much of a clear message as anything else, right? And that's important for all that sort of stuff. So, what's also interesting, I'm actually fascinated by this whole Darrell Gallagher hire.
Yeah.
In this, back to our earlier conversation, and I'm sorry to be a little over the place, but
no, it's fine. It's fine.
But what blows my mind is he really was never engaged on Twitter prior to that tweet from Matt Booty.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, literally, he only follows like 66 people. He has 3 tweets on his Twitter handle. And there's certain people you would expect him to be affiliated with. By obviously through Microsoft and studio heads there. A couple different media outlets he follows, that sort of thing. But there's some interesting ones that kind of popped up that I find interesting. Former Naughty Dog co-president he follows just randomly. Former keyword. Ex-director dude at Naughty Dog. That's that's another person. These are their descriptions, the people that he follows, just so you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
So very interesting ties with those guys. It looks like what else is there? Those are the ones that really stood out in my mind. It's interesting that he also, even though he was working at Activision, he's also has ties to the film company that did the latest Tomb Raider movie. It's interesting that he has those sort of ties within Hollywood still. He's also good friends with people like particular. What's interesting is where you have like an art director from
Mm-hmm.
Insomniac out of the blue. He doesn't follow Insomniac. He follows a particular art director, right? That worked on the Spider-Man movie, the Spider-Man game that's about to come out, and Rise of the, obviously Tomb Raider stuff that he's worked on, right? Another game designer that worked on previous projects with him. So it's interesting. Some of these people I guarantee he's worked with, and some of these people he hasn't through association. But it's interesting, the couple of the Naughty Dog guys that are former employees at Naughty Dog and no longer there, and that's all it says on the profile.
Well, that would be amazing if he could try to get those people on board to be a part of his studio or whatever that he's trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
it can have no correlation at all, right?
No, it could, but what it does do, it gives an indication that Microsoft is listening to the public. And another thing that I would really love for Xbox to do, for the staff to do, is to have a independent Japanese team. You know what I'm saying, or say do some get someone in to get there, to work.
Oh man, K-Mega got cut out again. He's playing double dutch with his cable for his mic is what's going on. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
Wait for it.
I'm here.
Are you playing double dutch with the thing? What are we doing?
No, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just need to give me a new computer. I need to give me a new computer.
Yeah, whatever new one you're gonna get, let me build it for you if you go that route. So
okay, cool. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that for real, because this is an old PC. I just put new parts in it, and so
yeah, and that only gets you so far.
It only gets me so far. This PC just is old. So anyway, but yeah. So no, I was going to say I think the only thing else, the other step that they would work on is trying to get maybe an independent Japanese developer or a studio or just have somebody to be a part of the in and outs that's going on in Japan, so they could bring a couple of those titles, because there's I'm into, how I'm into fighters, right? So I'm looking at this cross battle royale. It's got 3 different I can't think of the actual name of the game right now, but it has people from Persona, it has people from Blaze Blue, it's got from another group, this other game that came on Xbox, but it's not showing that it's coming to Xbox. It's only coming to the Switch, and it's only coming to PlayStation, and I think it might come to PC. I don't know yet, but regardless, I want more of those games to still keep coming and flooding into the Xbox, even if people don't buy them or not. It's like you said, the Xbox is diverse, and the one thing that I said that the Xbox can always be is that medium to where it can give you everything, you know what I'm saying, plus what its strong suit is, which is multiplayer games, and it just bring back that 360 flavor that in some cases has been missing at some points for the Xbox One. So I don't know.
I don't know how to even for them to handle that, because here's the problem:
either.
they're always looked at as outsiders, right?
Absolutely.
They'll never. I mean, they have the money, right? The problem is it's that relationship, and it's part of that Donnie D fallout as well. Like
Donnie D, he loves Donnie D, but Donnie D damn near killed Xbox.
But it's that relationship overseas; they don't have it, right?
Right.
And it's part of and it seems like Phil has been proactively trying to clean that up and obviously show what they're about going forward, but even without that, Microsoft is on the outside, always with overseas in Japan and stuff like that. So
right.
I don't know how you even remotely address that. Do you? Because there's obviously there are fans of Xbox. There are, it's kind of like a guilty pleasure sort of thing over there
Right.
among some studios. But there's also a cultural thing where they're incredibly loyal to companies that they work for, even if we all heard about the things for Konami and stuff like that. Next thing you know, you have somebody that was working on a game, and they maybe now be the janitor. I mean, it's a pretty big thing to say, right? But culturally, there's a loyalty to the company you work for. So even those people, hey, I can offer you a much better job. You can get back to what you were doing before. That's hard to get those people on board.
Right.
In regards to that. So, and I mean, it's Capcom's. I mean, Capcom's seen a big fall up because of Platinum Games. What people don't realize is people from Platinum are a lot of people that used to be ex-Capcom employees. So, I mean, where do you get the talent from, and where do you build something like that? I just don't know. I think you just have to be as nice as you can to those guys, and just do everything you can to make it very minimal work to get those games onto your platform. So I think that's all you can do with those guys.
Well, that's what Phil has went out there and done, and I mean, a lot of people want to give Phil slack, but he's out there working, man. He's working.
Yeah, I mean, those are games. And then again, those are games I'm not even. I can't even think of a single one that I'm interested in. But it doesn't mean I don't root for those games for other people, right?
Right.
Because I know they bring additional revenue, and they have nothing to do with the stuff that I want to play, but it doesn't take away, and I think that's important for people to understand that. So
right. No, I just think that this getting back to the old 360 way it would be perfect for Xbox, and I mean, and Phil Spencer has brought that up numerous times that was the direction of where they want to go. But it's just like with anything, when bad things happen or when things don't go your way, the turnaround is a hell of a lot harder than when everything is sinking, because when it sinks, it goes down quick. So I mean, you got to give kudos to Microsoft for even getting to this point, and regardless of how people will look at it as being disappointing or whatever. And when you look at the competition, Nintendo is got back on their feet, and people aren't even talking about the Wii U anymore because of what the changes that Nintendo has done. They're getting the third party, and of course Sony bouncing back from the PlayStation 3 era, on full cylinders. So it takes time, and as we see, these companies, they all got to take a hit, and so Microsoft is taking that hit, and now it's their turn, and now they got to show what they can do. So I don't know, man, but let's go ahead and get out of here before my mic cut out again.
Yeah.
So anyway, tell everybody where they can find you at.
The best way is follow me on Twitter. It's @thedon_KTR. Best way to see if we're going to have Devin the Gamer, if I'm doing next podcast, if I randomly guest star with somebody else, that's where you're going to find me, is there. And sometimes I do stuff on my YouTube channel. It's all been put on the back burner, but we'll see when I'll have something posted. Something we'll post down the road. I just don't know when. So
yeah, okay, no doubt. And then of course with me, you can you're already watching me on my channel, man. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate the love and support. Just hit that sub button, hit that like button. I don't know why the like and the dislike button don't work. I see how many they are once I go to the video manager, but I don't see anything here. It just makes me crazy. But regardless, it is what it is. I didn't cut it off because some people are saying you don't want to show anything. Well, no, that's not true. I don't know what the hell happened.
Sometimes it's best not to give you options, I've realized this.
yeah, options do make me try to do something odd, and then everything just blows up. So yeah, but anyway, man, thank you guys. Also, if you're interested in wanting to join the Patreon, the GRG Patreon, please do. It's at the bottom in the link in the description. We gave away God of War, and also we was giving away State of Decay 2. The person that won, they decided they wanted State of Decay 2, so they will be getting the State of Decay 2, the Ultimate Edition. So we'll be looking at another prize here coming up here next month. And you know what I'm saying? Look, man, we're just here to support the gamers that support us, and also just give back to the community, man, because it's been all love, and I love doing this, man. It's just really fun. So anyway, man, it is 1 a.m. for me, and I got to take my ass to work at 6:30 in the morning. So, man, I got to go ahead and take my ass to bed. So everybody, thank you, man, for hanging out with us. Go ahead and share this out, man, and peace. Good night.
Later.